So in this review, I'm reviewing the Autosaver88 catalytic converter for a Gen 2 Prius. I'm putting it on a 2007 model. Ordered it from Amazon, about 150 bucks. And as you can see in this next picture, the box was a little damaged, but everything seemed to be okay. And then I'm going to go into some video that shows you the part and how it worked for me. So hopefully it's helpful. Alright, so this is the unboxing of the Toyota catalytic converters that I got on Amazon. Made in China. This says TSCCCC0012. I'll put a little link in there to the actual one that I got. It's about $148. It's Autosaver88 was the seller, so when you look at the Amazon catalytic converters, it's 2007 Prius I'm putting this on. And it says Autosaver88 something 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 catalytic converter. So there's a little paperwork in here, a warranty claim, which I have no idea if that would really work or not, but warranty paper. The bolts to bolt it back on, the pipe clamp for the back, and the little sort of piece that goes in between the exhaust and the manifold there, like the little seal, I guess. All right, this is the part. You can see the two cats, and there's where the O2 sensor goes in. You got to remove that. Looks like it's in there pretty tight. I'm going to zoom in on there's a little label on there. I don't know if that code, there we go. You got to see the square. It's okay. So that's the part number that showed up on there. It looks good. It's not painted or anything. I heard these horror stories about these people getting these things and they're like painted with cheap spray paint or something. Let's see how this little seal fits in there. Looks like it fits pretty well. Again, I've seen other videos where people say these doesn't match up or whatever, or this doesn't fit, but it seems like it's going to fit. It sticks out a little bit, which kind of gives you a little buffer between the exhaust manifold and the exhaust itself. The other thing is these are two different sizes, so I mean it tapers down there. A lot of parts I looked at kind of had one size, and then you don't have an option. But I feel like if this, if this didn't fit, I could move it up here, and if that fit in, I have a little bit of options here. So I like the fact that there's two different sizes there. Anyway, that's the part. If you want to look at the car real quick, this is the 2007 Prius that we're about to put it on. I've got the 042, I think it is, error that says catalytic converter is bad. I've been canceling the error for a few months, and it's finally, just because of the cost of a catalytic converter, but it's finally time to try this one out and see if I can get the error to go away. So there you go. All right, so we're under the car. I had to put some liquid wrench on these. This is the intake manifold to exhaust bolts. There's two of them, one on either side down here. And it's actually, there's a lot of plastic and guards in the way. I had to use an extension like that right there to try to get back in there. I thought I'd have a little bit better access, but I don't. Here's the catalytic converter number one. And on the other side of that pipe is where the O2 sensor is. Let's see if I can turn around. That's the where it plugs in, where it screws in. There's the catalytic converter. It goes into the car. We're pretty close here. Let's try that again. It goes into the car here. And then the rest, the second catalytic converter, the resonator, and you have to pry off these rubber connectors. And way on in the back, there's two more bolts like those ones in the front that I have to disconnect before the muffler pipe. So that's probably right there is where I'm going to cut it. But my plan is to take this out and then take it in where I can actually work on it and then put the new stuff together and then hang it back up. Okay, this is the rear connection between the catalytic converter and resonator, the main section of the exhaust. that goes to after this is the muffler section, but it's actually bolted together, so I had to use some penetrating lubricant stuff to get this out, some liquid wrench stuff, and a little bit tight. I put down a jack underneath because as I was turning it I thought I might be ripping off the muffler or something. So plus I've already taken out the middle rubber pieces that hold up the center, so there's not a lot holding it up anymore. So I put that down to support. I'm going to screw these out. Last thing I'm going to do is to take out these bolts for this body support piece, and then this whole piece is going to come out, and I'm going to see if I can put the new catalytic on and then put it all back up. So we're pulling it out. That would be the whole thing. There's where the O2 sensor goes in. If you're curious like I am what the front of the factory flange looks like, I'll get a better picture of it later, but that's it. Looks like a good match for what I have purchased. And then there's the rubber and all that stuff like that, and the rubber hangers, and then that's where the back flange, you can see there's where I disconnected it from the main pipe, or the muffler pipe. Pull it out, let's see. Okay, so here are the old and the new parts. So you can see they do look pretty similar. I think they're gonna be okay. The lengths of the catalytic converters are slightly different. You can get an idea of where I'm going with this. So like those basically are going to match up right there. O2 sensors are a little bit different. And then what I'm hoping is to cut this right here, right there, and that this pipe will slide over and probably go all the way to right there. I may have to cut a little bit of this one too, we'll see. All right, there's the old and the new. Okay, there's the old part. We use this reciprocating saw to cut it off right there with enough space, like right up against the weld on the rear catalytic converter. And here's the old part with the resonator and the connector to the muffler pipe. And this particular unit where I'm doing the review here fits perfectly on here. And this is where I've heard these horror stories, but it just tightly fits on. Just barely. I just had to kind of get off the burrs with a file, and it's just super snug, perfect fit. So the last piece here is to make sure that this fits on. There's the picture of the flange I keep saying I'll show you, but it does look like a good match for the old piece. There's the old and the new together, and I think it's going to fit perfectly. I'm happy with the part, so there you go. Okay, so I'm showing this picture so you can see the old and the new gasket that goes between the exhaust and the exhaust manifold. The left one's the new one, the right one is the old one. You can see it's a little bit bigger. So initially I used the new one, and I felt like I had a little bit of a leak, like I could hear a bit of an exhaust leak and smell a little bit of exhaust. So I went back and I put the old gasket back in, and I used the old bolts, and that seemed to all work pretty well. It's not leaking anymore. So just be careful. I mean, you know, your mileage might vary, but this is what I found to be the most useful. Hopefully this video has been helpful. Feel free to subscribe below or give suggestions or questions or whatever. And good luck with your Prius. So hopefully that video was helpful. I really like the Autosaver88. It seemed to work really well, especially from all the stuff that I read online that said, you know, certain other models things won't fit and that sort of thing. I was really pleased that it all fit together. No welding was required and everything bolted in, and seems to be working well. Driven it now about 2,000 miles, almost 3,000 miles, and check engine light has stayed off. So I think my O2 sensor was probably okay. But the catalytic converters were definitely bad. So anyway, that's my review. Hopefully that's helpful. Thanks, guys.